Your words have been like stones skipped across a vast ocean. They sound pleasing as they touch the surface, but then they sink, leaving no trace. You say, "You are beautiful." You say, "You look amazing." These are kind words. They feel safe. But let me ask you, if 1,000 other voices she barely remembers have whispered the same stones into the same ocean, why would yours create a ripple that returns? It does not. True connection is not born when a soul feels flattered. It is born when a soul feels seen, exposed not in form but in essence, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. This requires a different kind of seeing, the kind that flows beneath the armor, the kind that sees the garden she has hidden from the world, the kind that leaves an echo of your presence long after you have gone. This teaching is not about the art of words. It is about the practice of sight. In my tradition, we speak of 3 ways of seeing, and I will share with you these paths that lead to connection. They resonate not because they are sweet, but because they are true. Before we walk this path, I invite you to quiet your mind. This is a space for those who are done with the predictable journey. If you wish to understand this practice on a deeper level, our community is a place to find the tools to make your presence a sanctuary. Now, let us begin. Let us unlearn what no longer serves and discover the seeing that awakens her spirit and creates a resonance her heart craves. The first path is to cease describing the surface. We are taught to never say, "You are beautiful." Instead, we practice this. You have said it 100 times. You're beautiful. It feels natural. You wish to be kind, respectful, even to evoke romance. But here is the quiet truth. It does not serve connection, not in the way you hope. She has heard this from every soul who has ever desired her form, from distant voices in the digital ether, from men whose energy she felt no call to meet. The word is predictable. It is a common stone. Most of all, it does not touch her essence. It speaks of the surface, and the surface cannot awaken the soul. When you tell a woman she is beautiful, you are only holding a mirror to what the world has already shown her. You offer nothing new. You awaken no unexpected feeling. Now, do not misunderstand. Beauty is a truth of this world, but to see it in the way every other man does is to blend into the background noise. Would you like to know what creates a clear sound? Reflect what her beauty does to your own inner state. Instead of, "You're beautiful," offer this perception. There is something deeply stilling in the way you see the world through your eyes. Can you feel the shift? Now it is about the energy, the unspoken field between 2 beings. You are no longer just an admirer of a form. You are inviting her into a shared inner space. You are acknowledging a current without naming the river. You are awakening her own awareness, not just stating a fact. Or offer this: "I cannot decide if you are a temple I wish to understand, or a wild forest I wish to get lost in." This is not a comment on her vessel. It is a reflection of your experience of her spirit. And here is the subtle key. Women do not awaken to a man because he tells them they are pretty. They awaken to the feeling of being felt, of being seen in a way most do not take the time or find the courage to perceive. If you wish to go deeper still, offer a perception that acknowledges the dynamic of existence itself. Try. You hold your beauty as if you are unconcerned with it. That kind of freedom is rare. Now, you are not just seeing the form. You are seeing how she relates to her form. You are seeing beyond the mask, the attire, the posture. You are seeing her. This is where the true power of connection begins. Not when you praise the obvious, but when you illuminate what most miss. To make this clear, there are 3 energies in our words. 1, the energy of safety. You are beautiful. You look nice. These are gentle streams, but they flow into the forgettable ocean. 2, the energy of resonance. There is something in the way you move, in the way you just looked at me. I felt it in my spirit. These build a quiet hum, a resonance, an anticipation of deeper connection. 3, the energy of insight. You make me forget the thought I was about to speak. You carry yourself as if you already see the path ahead. These perceptions enter her inner world and reside there. When you stop saying, "You're beautiful," and begin communicating your experience, you stand apart. Most men are either too fearful to go there or have never been taught how. But you are learning to speak directly to her spirit, not just her ears. And here is what separates the weak from the grounded. You do not offer these perceptions to get a reaction. You offer them because they are true from your center. Because you are still enough to perceive what other minds, full of noise, censor. That kind of offering, that kind of truth, is what makes her remember your presence when she is alone. So, let me invite you to reflect. Have you ever offered a perception that made her pause, look at you a little longer, and smile with a knowing light in her eyes? If you have, you know the power of saying less but seeing more. If you have not, that changes today. Because the energy you offer next does not just matter. It creates the quiet space she either feels a call to enter or forgets entirely. And the path we will walk next, most men would not dare to look down it, but once you do, she will hear nothing else. Our second path teaches that to truly connect, you must see the river and its banks as one. Most perceptions land in one of two places. Either they speak of the vessel, the body, you look exquisite in that dress, or you have a dancer's grace. Or they try to speak of the mind, you are intelligent, or you are so insightful. Rarely do they see both as one, and this is why most men lose the connection before it has even begun. Here is a truth most do not realize. A woman does not simply want to feel desired for her form. She wants to feel her entire being, mind and vessel, spirit and flesh, is seen and honored as one sacred whole. That is what awakens her. That is what gets under the skin of her persona. That is what makes her crave more of your presence, not just more of your words. So, what does this seeing sound like? Try this perception. You move with a kind of deep knowing, and it would be untrue if I said my mind did not follow. Let us hold this in our hands. You move with a kind of deep knowing. That is an observation of spirit. It makes her feel seen. It touches the mind. It is not about her form, but her presence. Then, and it would be untrue if I said my mind did not follow. That is the echo. That is what honors the vessel. It makes her wonder, what does he mean by follow? You have awakened attention, a resonance, without being coarse. It is clear, it is still, and it creates a polarity. You are not speaking for validation. You are stating a truth she has awakened in you. This shifts the flow of energy, and a woman feels that shift in her bones. Here is another. The way you can sit in such silence, with that much presence, it is distracting. This one is a quiet cone. It suggests composure, grace, power, and you are responding to it not with awe, but with gentle intrigue. You are not just seeing her form, you are seeing what her stillness communicates. That is rare. Why does this matter? Because a woman is not drawn to a man who sees only her surface. She is drawn to a man who can perceive the layers. The physical, yes, but also the energy, the stillness, the quiet command she holds. It is like this. You are not describing her vessel like a boy with a new toy. You are acknowledging the effect of her whole being, like a man who is grounded in his own. And that is a perception that lands on both her skin and in her spirit. Let me offer one more. You are the kind of woman who knows exactly when to speak and when silence is more powerful. This one is clear like a mountain spring. Why? Because you are not just seeing her, you are showing that you value discernment. You are seeing feminine wisdom, which is a subtle but potent form of inner fire. She will remember that because no one else is seeing it. And that is the path. Now, let me be very clear. None of these perceptions work if you offer them like a performer or a boy seeking praise. The power is not just in what you perceive, but in the stillness from which you perceive it. Relaxed, certain, as if you are not fishing for a response. You are simply sharing a truth that has arisen in you. Because when a man speaks from that center, he is not just another source of words. He becomes an experience, a memory she revisits in her own mind. And that is what draws her in. She is not chasing praise. She is chasing the feeling your presence gave her when you spoke. So, I invite you to ask yourself, have you ever offered a perception that made her seem to stop breathing for a moment? As if her body had to catch up to what her mind just heard. That is when you know your words have landed in both worlds at once. And if you have not, you are about to learn, because what comes next will make her feel a part of herself that most men are too afraid to even look at. The third path is to honor her shadow, not just her light. Most men only praise the obvious, the sunlit parts of the mountain. You are so sweet. You are so much fun. You are so positive, safe, predictable, forgettable. And here is what they do not understand. A woman does not want to be seen as perfect. She wants to be seen as whole. And a whole person carries both light and shadow. So while every other man is praising her light, you will honor her darkness. That side she may hide. The edge she thinks is too much. The untamed energy she tones down because the world told her to be soft, nice, gentle. You do not ignore it. You see it. You make her feel that the very thing she tries to control is the source of a power you respect. Try this. There is something dangerous in your spirit. I cannot tell if I should lean in or step back. Now, be still. You did not say she is alluring. You did not say she is nice. You said there is a wildness in her, and you are drawn to it. This flips a switch in her mind. She may have spent years trying to be good enough, nice enough, easy enough to like. But suddenly, this man sees the fire beneath the surface, and he is not afraid. That is rare. That is intoxicating. Or this one, you have the kind of energy that does not ask for space. It creates it. Ponder that. You are not praising how kind she is. You are acknowledging that there is an unbending power behind her eyes, a power that most men are too ungrounded to acknowledge. And when you do, you instantly separate yourself from every man who is just looking for a pleasing smile and a moment of validation. But let us go deeper. Why does honoring her shadow work so profoundly? Because it is taboo. Because it is whole. Because it tells her, I am not afraid of who you truly are. In fact, that part is what makes you complete. It is connective in a way compliments about looks will never be. Because it is not about appearance. It is about permission. You are giving her permission to be raw, unpolished, wild, sensual, sharp. And you are saying, without needing to say the words directly, I can sit with all of you. That is not just attractive. That is magnetic. Let us not forget, this kind of seeing only works if you are grounded enough to mean it. If you say it from a place of manipulation, it is empty. But if you say it from a place of presence, clarity, and calm, it lands. Because deep down, every woman knows her shadow is not wrong. It has just been hidden. And when a man sees it and does not flinch, she remembers him. Try this on a first meeting. You have a little chaos in your eyes. That is probably my favorite part about you. Boom. Not only are you bypassing the shallow waters of small talk, you are unlocking a part of her she has not felt seen since the last man who truly entered her world. Not just her bed, her mind. You are not afraid of the storm. You are inviting her to dance in the rain with you. So, tell me, have you ever looked a woman in the eye and honored the very thing she was afraid to reveal? That is where the path changes. That is when connection stops being polite and starts becoming sacred. And on the next path, you will learn exactly how to see something she has never verbalized, but will instantly wish she had heard from you sooner. Number 4, see what she is afraid to admit she loves. Every soul has a secret garden, a place of desires she does not speak of aloud. It is not the flowers, not the praise everyone offers. It is not, I like your eyes, or you are so sweet. It is deeper. It is personal. Sometimes, it is even a little taboo. You see, most carry cravings buried under polish and politeness. Cravings for power, for control, for being led, for being seen in ways they are told not to admit. And that is where your practice comes in. Because while most men are speaking to the surface, you are going to speak to the river flowing beneath. The one she will not name, but cannot ignore when another soul sees it. That is when her guard dissolves. That is when her connection stops being a thought and starts being a current. Let me show you this path. Try this. You love being in control. But I can tell there is a part of you that deeply wants to let it go. This is not just a line. It is an insight. And if you offer it with calm presence, not arrogance, it will land in her heart like lightning. Why? Because it acknowledges the sacred tension within her. She may be successful, dominant, a leader in the world, but what she often craves in connection is polarity, contrast, release. And you just gave voice to what she would not dare say herself. That is a powerful offering. Or try this one. You pretend not to enjoy being the center of stillness, but the way you carry your presence says otherwise. Delivered correctly, this is not judgment. It is recognition. It is saying, I see you, not the mask, but the energy beneath it. And that can be addictive, because here is what you must understand. When you see the part of her she is afraid to admit she enjoys, you are telling her, it is safe to be your whole self around me. Not the version she performs, not the nice girl, the full, messy, real, sensual, conflicted being. And that is rare. Most women are not seen in that space. They are either placed on a pedestal of perfection or pulled down into something shallow. Very few men know how to stand in the middle, grounded, clear, and bold enough to honor the fire she hides. Here is another example. You have this quiet hunger beneath all that calm. It would be untrue if I said I wasn't curious about it. You are not saying she is too much. You are saying she is exactly the kind of alive you feel drawn to. And the moment you say it, you have just offered a kind of validation that does not just feel good, it feels real. Let me be clear though. This only works if you mean it, if you are present, if you are not performing. The second it feels like a tactic, it becomes hollow. But when it is truth, it is unforgettable, because for a woman, connection is not just about who you are. It is about how you see her. And if you can see the parts of her no one else notices, especially the ones she does not fully understand herself, you are no longer a stranger. So let me ask you, have you ever offered a perception to a woman that made her pause, as if you had just unlocked a secret she did not know you could see? If you have ever seen that flicker, that flash of how did he know that, you know how deep this path goes. And if you have not, you are about to, because the next way of seeing flips the entire dynamic and makes her begin to seek the feeling only your presence can give. The fifth path is this: make her feel seen, not desired. Most men make the same mistake. They believe desire is the destination. They focus all their energy on words of want. You are so hot. You're sexy. I want you. And of course that kind of energy might bring a smile, perhaps even a playful reply. But here is the truth: desire is common. Every woman experiences it every day. Online, in life, at the market, at the temple. Desire is everywhere. But being seen, being truly noticed for one's essence, that is rare. When you are the man who makes her feel seen, you unlock a space that no compliment about her body ever could. Let me show you what I mean. Most men praise the effect. You're beautiful. I can't stop looking at you. You drive me mad. But the perceptions that truly land, they honor the cause. Try this. You read people before they speak. I can tell you carry that perception quietly, but it is sharp. You did not say she is attractive. You did not say she is cute. You told her, I see how you move through this world and I respect it. That goes deep. Or this, you act as if you do not need the spotlight, but you are fully aware of the energy when you enter a room. Now, you have made her feel understood, not just looked at, not just wanted, understood. That is a rare feeling, and rare is powerful. Why? Because every woman, especially the kind of woman who is accustomed to being desired, learns to filter out these words. She builds an armor of numbness around her heart. But when you slip through the cracks with a perception that says, I see the real you, and I honor that version more, that armor begins to dissolve. You are not another man trying to get close to her form. You are a man who is noticing what no one else bothers to. That is what gets remembered. That is what sets you apart. Let us go deeper. Most men give validation to get a response. But when you validate what is unseen, you are not seeking anything. You are offering presence, insight, depth, and whether she admits it or not, that kind of seeing lands in a way she will not forget. Try this one. You appear as if you are always in control, but I imagine your mind never stops moving. That perception does two things. One, it shows a quiet emotional intelligence. Two, it makes her feel that you are paying attention to the small things, the tone, the energy, the unspoken currents she puts out that most men miss. It is not romantic, it is not sexual, but it is unshakable. It is the kind of seeing that echoes in her thoughts later. Because every woman knows what it feels like to be desired, but to be seen without performing, without smiling, without showing her skin, that feels different. Now, I am not saying you should avoid desire. Desire is a powerful, sacred energy, but it should never be the first door you walk through. Lead with awareness. Lead with grounded perception. Let her feel that you saw the version of her that is hidden beneath all the words she normally hears. Then, if you choose to express desire later, it feels earned, real, grounded. So let me ask you, have you ever offered a truth to a woman that made her stop smiling and just look at you, as if you had touched something real? That pause, that is where true connection begins. And the next perception we will cover does not just make her pause. It makes her start to imagine exactly where this path is going. The sixth path, perceive what no other man dares to perceive. Let me tell you something most men will not hear. A woman does not remember the safe man. She remembers the man who made her feel something real. And that does not happen when you say what is expected. It happens when you perceive what nobody else dares to see. Here is the trap most men fall into. They try to be liked. They try to be nice. They try to be respectful. And in the process, they say nothing of substance. They walk on eggshells. They overthink every word. They filter themselves so much that they lose all their presence. And guess what? She feels that. She does not feel excited. She does not feel curious. She feels bored. But the man who steps in and perceives a truth she has never heard voiced before, he does not just stand out. He stays in her mind. So what does that sound like? Here is one perception. I do not trust people who smile too much. There is usually something deeper behind it. Now, pause. You did not insult her. You were not aggressive. You just spoke a quiet truth that most people are too afraid to say. It is bold, it is raw, it is provocative, but most importantly, it is real. And women do not crave more compliments. They crave a truth that stings a little but sticks a lot. Or try this one. You seem like the type of soul who gently pushes others away just before they get too close. This is not flirtation. This is not sugar coating. This is a man with his eyes open. A man who is not afraid to name patterns instead of tiptoeing around them. Why does this work? Because women are used to men hiding their opinions, hiding their grounding, hiding behind compliments, hoping to receive something. But when you speak without fear, she leans in. Not because you are right, but because you are real. You did not say what she wanted to hear. You perceive something no one else would dare to say. And that awakens a connection that runs deeper than charm ever could. Let me go further. I do not care if you like me. I care if we can be honest with one another. That one line, it ends the performance. You have just told her this is not about winning her over. It is about connecting without a mask. And that is rare. Now, understand this. Speaking bold truths only works if your presence is grounded. If you are trying to be edgy to get a reaction, she will feel the insecurity. But if your energy is calm, clear, detached from the outcome, that is when it lands. That is when she becomes curious. That is when you become a quiet mystery. Because most men try to earn her attention. You just share what is truly in your awareness. Not to offend, not to manipulate, but because you are done pretending. And that makes her feel something she cannot explain but will not forget. You see, the bravest thing a man can do with a woman today is to offer his truth, even when it is uncomfortable. Especially when it is uncomfortable, because her beauty does not impress you. Her social arts do not faze you. Her validation is not your goal. You are the one who sees through the performance and dares to speak to the human underneath. So here is my question to you. Have you ever spoken a truth so real, she did not know whether to smile or to run? If you have already felt the shift. And if you have not, you are about to. Because on the next path, we will flip the script, and I will show you the one way of perceiving that turns the entire energy of the room in your direction. Even when you speak it with your eyes, not your mouth. The seventh path is the practice of scarcity. Your perceptions are like rare jewels. Here is a difficult truth. Most men hand out compliments like common street pebbles. Easy, instant, everywhere. You look amazing. You're so smart. You're incredible. And what happens? The words lose all their value. She hears them so often, they become background noise. But you are not most men. You see like a king, and a king does not speak to impress. He speaks to declare. He speaks with intention, not impulse. So, let me ask you, when was the last time you held back a word of praise? Not because you were afraid, but because you were centered. Scarcity makes things precious, and when your perceptions are rare, your presence becomes unforgettable. You see, a woman's spirit does not crave flattery. It craves certainty, the kind of energy that does not need to rush in and perform. Let us explore this path further. Imagine you are in a wonderful conversation with her. Most men are already throwing word, pebbles like confetti. But you are calm, curious, grounded. And then, after 10 minutes of allowing her to unfold her own spirit, of watching her energy flow, you look at her and say, you know, the way your mind connects ideas, that is rare. Boom. Just like that, you have offered one precise, undeniable, valuable perception. No fluff. No trying to win her over. Just a single seed of observation that lands deep because you made her wait for it. That is what a grounded presence does. Or try this. There is a stillness in you most people would not notice. I honor it. That kind of perception does not just make her feel attractive. It makes her feel seen. And the best part, because you did not flood her with 10 other empty lines, that one perception echoes. Now, let me explain why this works. In the mind, that which is less available becomes more valuable. So when you make your perception scarce, you shift the entire dynamic. She starts to wonder, what made him say that now? Why did he choose that specific moment? What else is he seeing that he is not yet saying? Now she is curious. Now she is leaning in. Now you are holding the quiet center of the space. Let us look at the other side for a moment. When you praise too much, you put yourself in the role of the admirer. You lower your own center of gravity. You become the one seeking her approval. But when you speak like a man who does not need to be liked, who offers his approval sparingly, like a man who knows his own value, you awaken a connection on a level most men will never touch. You are no longer trying to be chosen. You have already chosen yourself, and she can feel it. Here is the secret. The most powerful perception is the one she had to earn, even if she does not know what she did to earn it, because that mystery, that quiet tension, it pulls at her spirit. So use your words wisely. Do not speak to fill space. Speak less, but see more. Perceive what is real, but offer it as if it cost you something to share it. That is how you become unforgettable. The man who knows the value of his words knows the value of his own stillness. And on the next path we walk, you will learn how to leave a mark without a single word, using a presence so powerful she will feel it long after you are gone. The eighth path is to turn a perception into a bridge. Let me tell you something bold. A perception is just a start. What makes it powerful is when it becomes an invitation, a bridge to a deeper place. Most men stop at validation. You're amazing. You're stunning. You're so smart. It is safe. It is sweet. But it does not spark a journey. Because when you tell a woman she is amazing and she already knows it, you are just another voice in the crowd. But what happens when you take that perception and gently flip it into an invitation? Now you have moved from the courtyard into the temple. Now you have stepped into the frame of a man who sees her potential and quietly asks her to meet it. Here is what that looks like. Let us say she is speaking of how she never lets anyone get close to her. Most men would nod and say, "That's impressive." You say, "That is a testament to your strength." But I imagine you have built those walls so high, you may have forgotten what it feels like to be truly seen behind them. Boom, you just turned her strength into a doorway. You praised her resilience, but you also invited her to consider the vulnerability underneath it, and that gets remembered. Or let us say she is always in control, polished, high status. Most men try to win her approval, but you look her in the eye and say, "You strike me as someone who is accustomed to leading the way. I wonder if you even remember how to let the river carry you." That line, that is not rude, that is not aggressive. That is a masculine mirror. It shows her something she has not had reflected in a long time. Because women do not just crave attention. They crave edges, boundaries, polarity, presence. And when you perceive and invite in the same breath, you show her that you are not afraid of her. You are not here to worship. You are here to engage. You are here to walk with her. Let us look at why this works on a spiritual level. Perceptions make her feel validated. Invitations make her feel awakened. Put them together, and she is seen, she is alive, she is intrigued. And intrigue is the soil where true connection grows. Because when you see what most men would not, when you stand strong enough to gently shake her world a little, she does not forget it. She might smile, she might protest, she might even gently test you back. But inside, her spirit is paying attention. Because what you just did was step out of the noise. You did not just echo what every man says. You woke her up. Let me give you another. She says, "Men are intimidated by me." Most men would reply, "Not me." You say, "Perhaps they are." Or perhaps you have made it too easy for them to feel that way. Now, she is not sure whether to challenge you or to follow your lead. Either way, you have her full presence. And that is the journey. The man who can evoke both curiosity and a call to inner reflection becomes unforgettable. But remember this, it only works if your delivery is grounded. No arrogance, no neediness, just clarity. You are not attacking, you are not proving. You are inviting. Inviting her into a deeper version of herself. One she might not even know is there until you name it. That is not just flirtation. That is the beginning of a shared transformation. Have you ever said something that felt like a dare and saw her spirit rise to meet it? If you have seen that spark, that flash of curiosity, defiance, and attraction all at once, you know you are not just seeing her, you are activating her. And in the next part, we will go even further, because now that you have sparked the invitation, you are about to learn how to say less, do less, and be more. Number 9, make her question why she is thinking about you. Let me ask you something deep. What makes a woman lie in bed at night and think about you, not just remember what you said, but actually wonder, why can't I shake his presence from my mind? It is not your appearance, not your possessions, not your status. It is the psychological and spiritual imprint you leave behind. If you want to stand apart, do not just impress her. Do not just flirt with her. Make her question herself. And here is the key. You do this not by chasing her, but by leaving a sacred space for her own mind to roam. You see, women connect with the impact, not the interaction. They connect with the echo, not the sound. So how do you create that echo? Start by being unexpected. Offer a subtle observation about her that feels far too accurate. Like, you speak as if you are very open, but I can tell you hold back the things that truly matter. Now, she is not just reacting to you. She is reflecting on why you saw that. Or this one, you seem calm, but your eyes move like someone who is always mapping the room. You did not flirt. You did not compliment. You opened a door in her mind, and that kind of moment does not end when the conversation ends. It lingers. Why? Because you created an echo, and that echo keeps bouncing inside her own quiet awareness long after you have gone. Let me be very clear. This is not about being mysterious for the sake of it. It is about being present enough to notice what others miss and then creating just enough space for her to wonder, why did that feel different? What did he see in me? Why do I want to feel that presence again? That is where the real power lies. Most men try to stay on her radar by flooding her with messages and attention. You exit with precision, and your absence becomes louder than their noise, because she does not miss you. She misses how she felt when seen by you. She misses the version of herself that only came out when you were there. Now, here is a very still practice. When she shares something vulnerable, do not react like everyone else. Do not say, "That must have been difficult." Do not say, "I am sorry you went through that." Instead, you look at her, hold the space, and quietly say, "That explains a great deal." Then go silent. Let the silence pull her in. She will sit with that. She will think about that. She will feel your presence even when you are not around. This is where the mind's nature comes into play. The mind does not like open loops, unfinished stories. When you leave space for her, emotionally, intellectually, her own mind will work overtime to fill the gaps. She starts telling herself stories. And guess who the main character is? You, because you created a kind of presence that sticks not with noise, but with clarity. Here is the truth: most women forget men who try to be perfect, but they never forget the man who made them question their own patterns, reflect on their own being, and feel something they cannot quite name. You become the thought she tries to push away, but that shows up when the world is quiet, when her room feels too large, when her distractions stop working. So here is your practice. Can you be so grounded, so sharp, so present, that your absence becomes her inner contemplation? If you have done this right, she will not just think about you. She will try to understand you. And that is a loop she will keep chasing until the very last moment, when you finally choose whether to let her in or to keep walking with your stillness intact. In the final part, we will shift one last gear and show you how to seal an impression she will never erase. And the 10th path, when your perception makes her want more. Let us talk about a kind of seeing that does not satisfy her. This may sound strange, but here is the secret. The most powerful perception is the one that opens a door and leaves it slightly ajar. Not closed, not wide open, just enough to make her wonder, what else? You see, most men offer perceptions that end the moment they are spoken. You're gorgeous. You're funny. You're so sexy. Boom. The transaction is complete. She has heard it 1,000 times before. But when a man drops a line that lingers, when his seeing hints at something deeper, she does not just smile. She wants more. Not more attention, more understanding. Let me show you this way. She says something clever. Most men would say, "That's smart." You say, "I was not expecting that from you." It is subtle. It acknowledges her intelligence, but it also suggests there is more to her than you initially perceived, and that she has not yet shown her full self. She will smile, but her mind will wonder, what did he expect? What else does he think about me? Why did that feel exciting? You did not finish the moment. You started one. Or try this. She is talking about how competitive she is. Most men say, "That's hot." You say, "I can already see that you hate to lose." That is probably what keeps your spirit restless at night. This is not just a perception. It is an invitation into a deeper space. You are saying, "I see something profound, but I am not giving you the full analysis yet." This is how you turn seeing into mental and spiritual seduction. And here is the key. Do not explain it. Do not justify it. Just say it, and let her sit in the space it creates. Women remember what they feel far more than what they hear. So if you can make her feel curious, slightly off balance, and yet deeply seen, you are not just complimenting her. You are haunting her spirit in the most beautiful way. Think about this. Most people are desperate to be fully understood, but when someone understands you too quickly, the mystery is gone. It is boring. When someone almost understands you, when they catch glimpses of your truth, but leave you hungry for the rest, now that is addictive. That is how your words become an emotional and spiritual cliffhanger. Let us take another angle. She says something about her past, something messy, maybe even dark. Most men would avoid it, stay polite. But you lean in and say, "That part of your story is the part I find most interesting." Now, you have done something sacred. You have just honored the thing she hides. You have validated the chaos, the shadow, the part of her she thinks no man wants to touch. But you did not go overboard. You did not turn it into a therapy session. You just offered the perception quietly, confidently. And now she is thinking about it. She is replaying it. She is wondering why that one simple sentence hit her so hard. And that is what makes her want more. More of your presence. Not because you said something beautiful, but because you perceived something no one else would have dared to see, and you offered it in the way that you did. That is a high level of grounded, masculine presence. This is the mindset to carry. Every perception should raise her curiosity, not her ego. Make her lean forward into the mystery, not relax backward into comfort. Make her feel slightly exposed, but utterly safe. Let her think more about what you did not say than what you did. And when she walks away from you, she should not feel as if she has been praised. She should feel as she has been studied, honored for something so specific, so rare, that it makes her wonder, who is this man? Why do I feel this way around him? What else does he see in me? When you can trigger those questions with just a few words, that is not a compliment. That is a seed planted in her psyche. And some seeds, they grow into obsession. So remember this. Do not compliment to impress. Compliment to ignite. And if you have ever made a woman pause, smile, and then go quiet, you have probably already walked this path. Sometimes it is not what you say, it is what you almost said. And that silence, that space, that is where true desire lives. And now you know. Most men throw words to get attention. You offer them to spark emotion, tension, and memory. That is the difference between being remembered and being truly wanted. If this teaching spoke to something real inside you, let us continue the journey together.